Hi, Carol here, and welcome to my craft room. Today I am going to do a painting, as you can see over here. I have set this canvas, I would say it's a 12 by 14 inch flat canvas. I've already put the gesso on, let it dry, and now I am working with my color palette. I have the Bob Ross clear acrylic palette right here, down here, which I have put my primary colors on. I am working with this wonderful set. It is the Artisan Shop Maestro series, and it's a 15, and it's a lifetime warranty. If you go over on, it's a beautiful set. If you go over it, you can get it on Blick or Amazon. And this is the packet. I don't know if I can get it in there, but it has wonderful brushes, and like I said, a lifetime warranty. And I have put some, yikes, instant coffee. I know a lot of people don't like that, but if you're talking and talking and talking, you need to wet your whistle, right? I'll put it down here beside me so it's not in the way. This canvas that I'm doing, if you see me going over to my iPad, it is a photo that Bonnie sent me from her. She was out at camp on the lake, and there was a sunset right here. Isn't this gorgeous? Sunset. And so I'm going to attempt to paint this in my acrylics and talk you through it. If you're new to painting, I'm certainly not new to painting, but I am not the frugal crafter. I cannot go in there, I have to think my things through, but I love it. I just love it. So I'll just talk while we are painting. I just wanted to see the feel of the actual acrylic paint that I bought, and it is the Liquitex Basics, kind of middle line paints. It's nice. I'm using the Naphthol Crimson for my red, for my primaries. I have placed my primaries down, which are the yellow, red, and blue. And one thing, if you're new to painting with acrylic paints or watercolor paints, acrylic especially, I find one thing is to know it dries darker than you apply it. Opposite to anything we're used to in watercolor. Watercolor dries lighter, but your acrylic paints will dry darker. So I keep a heat tool here so I can heat it up to fast dry. I have taken a Derwent cadmium yellow pencil, traced out what I wanted my image to kind of be there, so I can see it. And I have a small palette to my left that I will mix. If I want to go into, I don't have room here, I'll just put it over there and see for my smaller images. We'll see how that works. So you want to work with, what's really nice is your primaries, and then we can draw off to secondary colors, which is your orange, purple, and green. And you make those from your actual colors. If you want purple, you mix the blue and red. If you want your orange, you mix your yellow and green. And if you're going to go into, I'll show you on your secondary colors, the orange, purple, and green. And then we'll work into the warm and cool temperatures, and that's just primary and secondary colors mixed together, and we will see how this goes. Like red, yellow, and blue, you'll get kind of a brown. You can add your white and get a little tone of lighter brown. And looking at this photo, it's a lot of oranges, yellows, almost white yellow hues, and a lot of twigs and browns on the bottoms, kind of some terrain mountains here. and I tried to stick to the rule of thirds on the picture, and we will see what happens with that. Now, I found through just doing the bit of painting that I do is when you're practicing to paint, work with your primary colors and build colors off your primary colors and off your secondary colors. Don't directly grab your, like if you want a green, don't grab just a green out of your paints and use that green. Learn to mix your colors up and get different, hues and colors. And you can always reuse it. You can always wet it and reuse it later. Don't be, don't let that stop you, but try and make your colors from colors, if that makes any sense. So that's what I'm going to do today. I'll show you, have some paper towels. I have 2 buckets going. I have a bucket to my right with 2 water, 1 on each side. I have a large bucket to my right with my paint brushes here that see through so I can see which ones I can grab quickly. I use a sponge to even out my colors when I'm done, and you're pretty well set to go. I've already marked out the stuff with my cadmium yellow pencil. Derwent Inktense pencils, I love them. And it's just, gives me, when I'm looking at the picture to my left and I'm looking at what I drew here, I should be quite comfortable with doing this. So let's see what I used. I'll put it down here. I used a neutral gray with a value of 3. I told you, and I put down a primary red. I used the ultramarine blue, but my main source of red is the alizarin crimson, this color here, alizarin crimson. And some of these names are crazy, but I put down the Naples yellow, but I don't think I'll use it much, but it's beside my cadmium yellow. So your main ones are the cadmium yellow, your ultramarine blue, and then your primary red, which I used the alizarin crimson. So I'll put these back in my trays that I showed you yesterday. And then I put white to the side because we will use white and gray. Okay, so let's get at it. I have a little bit of tone up here I mixed together the yellow, the crimson yellow here on my palette. And I'm just looking at, I put a bit of red, a tad bit of blue on here to get a little bit of a gray tone. You can always add, but you can't take away. So I will grab a little bit of water just to get this mixed up. And I will show you what I'm working with. I am trying to get these little gray hues on here. To mimic the tree line that's here. Your brush will fill up. You don't have to worry about that because this is going to be kind of a tree line. I'm just going to flat line like my brush up and down like this just to get that kind of brown. I may take in some of that green here. Okay. I don't want to lose the top section where the sun is going to go, but I'm going to grab my fan brush and I am going to take in just a little bit on the top for my trees. Going in the background, just a little bit, just so I can see. There we are. what I'm doing here, back in the water. And then I'm going to even it out with my brush here, just lightly. And then I'll show you as I go how it's coming out. There we are. I'll take my heat tool and heat it up just a little bit here. Taking off that little piece of hair. And remembering that acrylic paints dry darker than you lay them out. So I'll put that under there and let us work with the sun up there. So I will take right here is a number 6. And I'm going to I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow and I'm going to add a little bit of the white here. You don't want a total white hue. I'm taking a bit of that yellow white, the yellow, it's more of a mustard yellow beside my primary yellow, the cadmium yellow. And I am working with the sun being approximately here. There we are. I'll just draw it out. I'll push it out with my fan brush. When it dries, it's fairly big here. Doesn't have to be exact to your picture, but I'm trying to get it relatively close. And then I will add more of the cadmium yellow around the edge, and then I'll fan it out. So we're doing a bit of the cadmium yellow, adding it in here. There we are. And you can just twirl your brush, grab some more on the bottom. There we go. Then we'll work on that. Okay, so then I'll get the fan brush and I'll push this out with a wee bit of water. Starting here. You don't want any lines. So I'll work with this like that for now. Push it into the painting. Add some water. Oops, sorry. Okay. Let's get some of this white. Bring back our sun, just so I can see it for now. I'll let it dry. And I'll push that back. There we go. I'll push it back once it dries. Now coming down here is giving me some water, like right down into where this boat is. So I'm going to take the line out from the Derwent pencil. I'll add a little bit of water to work this out right here. Lighten it up. So pretty. I'm going to grab some yellow here. I'll push this all out in a second. Let me just work some of this in with the green. There we go. go, that's better. Then I'll fan it out once I see the colors that I have here. Okay. Okay. There we are. Hope you can see that in there. I'm going to take some more of a little bit of the white here, and I'm going to add it over to this mixture here. Kind of twist it off my large paintbrush because I have some I have some of this other color here that I want to mix up in here. There we are. Let me fill that in right here. Okay. So I'm kind of getting 3 different tones here of the brown. And we come back to that, just setting a base. Okay. There we are. And now I'm going to make up a orange. So I'm going to grab some of my cadmium yellow, some red. I want kind of a deep orange here. There we go. I'm going to add some water. Just work on a little bit right here. I'm going to take my fan brush right there and grab some of that, and I'm going to work it down right here off of here, just to get a little bit of that color. Isn't that a pretty color? Down on the bottom on this line. I only want to keep what's on the top there. So I will take my brush here, add a tiny bit of water, and I will brush this out. I just want this line on the very top. Just that little orange line that's there. Okay. So now I'm going to work with quite a bit of this. I'm going to deepen this up, this orange right here. I'm going to see how much of it I can grab on here just to add to this water line. Right here. We'll add that yellow back in there. I'll work with that. Okay, it is water, so we are working with, I want to brighten that up. Just see here. Grab some more of this yellow. Okay. I'm going to add a bit more red, just to give me a bit more of an orange hue here on the water. There we are, that's nice. Awesome. Whoop. single line, just try and get it. Okay, so we kind of have our water going on there, which is nice, and you're going to want to take like a little bit of gray, like a little bit. I'm just going to tone this down with a bit of gray right in. I'll mix it up. A little bit of this blue just to give me some gray right here. Hopefully you can see that. I see that this has pushed me down into here, so we'll water this out and we'll just run this along the bottom while it's still. And this is where my grass and my browns are going to be, so this doesn't bother me at all. There we go. I think I'll add some of that up here. Awesome. Okay, so I think I'll tuck that behind there for now, just so you can see that there. And get my picture reference up that Bonnie sent me. And we will go with the, let's see, I have my paper towel here on my side, and I'm going to add some of my, I'm going to fan in. I think I'll fan in with my large fan some of the white. It's quite wet here. Tiny bit of yellow. Okay. Touch it onto your cloth so it's not totally wet. Get some more white. There we are. And let's come down here. So we have our right down here where our boat is. Grab some more water. Don't want it so saturated. I think I'll take a little bit more white. Okay. There we are. And we'll fan some white in here. Okay, so we have that white in there. Then we'll work with using that while we still have it, and I will work with the sun right here. Take off as much of the water as you can, and add some yellow. You don't want anything directly. It's so nice once you have the paint already on there. There we are, so you can see that up there. And then you have white coming down here. You want to take your fan brush, bring that down, and then I am going to take make a little bit of orange back up there with my red and my yellow on the fan brush. Okay, a little bit of orange with red and yellow, and I am going to quite a bit of yellow actually. There we are. This is so relaxing. I've already made a tuna salad. I took my macaroni, about 6 cups. I like Miracle Whip. I do 2 delicious apples cut up, celery, yellow and green peppers, and a can of nice white flake tuna, and mix that all together with celery and about 6 eggs over the top with a bit of paprika, salt and pepper. And my dinner, other than a steak, I have leftover steak to barbecue, is already done this morning. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to fan out the yellow here, adding a lot more yellow just to the top, like so. Fan out the yellow here, just a little bit. We'll bring the orange back in a minute. Let's take my sponge, make sure it's clean. I think I'll grab another one. I have hundreds of them. And I will take my sponge and I will work it like this. There, isn't that beauteous? I'm going to come across on the other side with my left hand, because I used to be left-handed, and I'm ambidextrous. I can work with either or. Grab some of your yellow off of your brush, like so, and part that. And I'm going to run into part 2 while we finish the bottom up. And I'm going to darken some of the sky here before I come in with my... And it's nice because you can use this. Let's grab some of that orange. Deepen this up with a bit of orange. And this is where I'm going to fan this line out right there. So it's a little bit straighter here. You're going to have it's going to it's the sun, so you're going to need a little lump in there. And come across here. And let's fan some of that out. In the water, go right across. Like that. Isn't that awesome? Fan it out. And that's where you get, I'll use my small fan for the top. I only have a minute left. So grab that same color with your small fan brush and bring those strokes out from the sun like this, just to get that color on there. And then we will work it out with our sponge like this. Isn't that awesome? And it's been drying, so it's going to work across here beautifully. You can always put the white in, but you need that orange ring on there. And we'll come back in with that, with more of the white and the yellow, cadmium yellow. And we'll bring this back in. That's the beauty. Now that we have the orange coming out, this is beautiful. Like a beautiful rendition. I'll send this to Bonnie. The birds are chirping behind me. It's a beautiful day the Lord has made. How special is that? You can see this coming off the water. We'll work on the background with a little bit more brown tones. See you on part 2.